This is ABC7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
And it's not going to go away, and it's not going to stop.
We love that little boy, and we love him to death. And every day that we don't find him, we suffer.
The search for Jabez Spann continues. The Sarasota teen has been missing since September. The family isn't giving up hope, but what are law enforcement and the community doing to help? Good evening, everyone. I'm Alan Cohen, and welcome to ABC7 at 7. We'll have more on the continuing search for Jabez Spann in a moment. But first, our top 7 stories at 7. At a time when our national discourse seems to be pulling us apart, we begin tonight with the country pausing to remember the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. In Sarasota, it started with the annual community MLK breakfast in Newtown, a walk, then a celebration. This is the 37th year of the Martin Luther King Jr. celebration on the Suncoast, and the focus bridging the gap for all the area's communities.
It's very important to bring all communities together, the Jewish community, the gay community, the Hispanic community, the black community, in solidarity. So that's why we're here this year.
An all-day block party was one of the highlights of the day, emceed by ABC7's morning reporter Marla Spence. A reminder today about the illusion of security in gated communities. A body was discovered in the morning in Bradenton by a worker off of 26th Avenue East, about 30 yards off from the road. The victim has been identified as 41-year-old Michael Grantley. Those who live close by are shocked this happened in their quiet neighborhood.
All I know is that there was gunshots around 5 o'clock. That woke me up, but I didn't know that was what woke me up. But I heard later there was a body found over there with its mouth taped and evidently had been shot. There were other people, the one couple up here, who actually heard all 3 shots last night and heard a car spitting away.
Anyone with information is asked to contact the Manatee County Sheriff's Department. An arrest tonight in the murder of a Sarasota teenager. Northport police say 19-year-old Trent Bartle Thomas was inside a home on Porto Chico Avenue in Northport when 2 men wearing black ski masks stormed in and shot him to death. Police have arrested 21-year-old Dante Stanley Jr. in the shooting. Stanley is charged with homicide, home invasion, robbery, and aggravated battery, and assault with a deadly weapon. One of the passengers who had to be rescued from a casino shuttle boat that caught fire in the Gulf of Mexico yesterday has died. The 42-year-old woman died at Florida Hospital late last night while being treated for her injuries. A cause of death has not been determined. The woman was one of 50 people on board the boat when the fire broke out about a half-mile from shore. All the passengers made it off the boat. Some were able to swim to shore while others were rescued from the water. Investigators think the fire started in the boat's engine room. An update now on a murder case in Sarasota County. Last month, 55-year-old William Case was arrested for the 2011 murder of Kensington Park resident Karen Courts. Now his attorneys are filing a motion to halt the proceedings due to the defendant's presumed incompetence to stand trial. A hearing will be held on the 25th of this month. Sarasota County detectives say the case was linked to the murder through DNA and shoe prints. Florida lawmakers head back to Tallahassee this week to tackle one of the biggest issues facing the state, opioids. This week, the state Senate will be considering a bill limiting opioid prescriptions to a 3-day supply or a 7-day supply in the cases of severe pain. Doctors would also be required to check patients' prescription records before giving them more, and doctors would have to prescribe opioids or any other prescription medication to the patient. They must have a urine or oral examination.
To make sure that, number one, they're taking the medications we are prescribing, so there's less of a chance of misuse or diversion. To make sure that they're not getting medications that we are not prescribing.
All medical professionals would have to check a state prescription drug database to see a patient's history before writing a prescription. The Venice Wildlife Center is gearing up for a big move. The annual Animal Hospital and Rehabilitation Center recently bought a new property after efforts to buy its existing land fell through. Now, the nonprofit center is working to raise the money to rebuild cages for recovering animals and a 120-foot cage for eagles to learn to fly again. The center has to apply for rezoning on the new property.
We're very proud to have this second chance here in the same neighborhood, and we hope to make the most of it.
The Wildlife Center hopes to have the rezoning and the moving completed in just over a year from now. Now let's head over to ABC7's Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan with the first alert forecast. Bob.
Alan, things are warming up a little bit for today. We had high temperatures in the upper 60s, just a couple degrees below the average. 60 right now. We have some clouds, northeast winds at 5, and the pressure's way up there, 30. That north to northeast wind will continue overnight, so we will see low temperatures still slightly below average, but not nearly as cold as we've had over the past couple of mornings. Right now, they're out of the northeast anywhere from 10 to 15 miles an hour. Temperatures currently 40s over the Panhandle in North Florida, 42 in Jacksonville, 10 degrees warmer now in Orlando, 70 in Miami. As far as the rain goes, no threat here. Some showers along the East Coast. We're under a large area of high pressure, and this high pressure ridge will continue to build in through the overnight and tomorrow. So another sunny day expected for Tuesday, and it will be approaching 70 degrees tomorrow afternoon. The forecast through this evening, fair skies and 49 by 11 o'clock tonight. Temperatures a little bit cooler inland near the beaches. We'll see temperatures into the mid-50s. Now, as far as the Gulf water temperature is concerned, it's 60 degrees right now, so that is starting to warm up at least a little bit compared to what we had over the weekend. But we will see another cold front slide through, Alan, and the next cold front is going to be a strong one, which will bring, it looks like, some problems our way as far as advisories are concerned. Again, temperatures tonight a little bit below average. Our average low temperature right around 51 degrees.
More?
Yeah, another cold front. We'll take a look at the 7-day forecast. It does show it, though, warming up pretty quickly after this one.
Oh, joy.
Yeah, well, by the weekend, we'll be back in the 70s.
All right, thanks a lot, Bob. And still to come, the very latest in the investigation into the disappearance of Sarasota teenager Jabez Spann.
We are problem solvers striving for answers. Relevancy on every platform. We are driven to create content that's compelling, engaging, where it matters. We are neighbors that care about solutions, believers in making a difference, leaders, innovating in an exciting era of multimedia, reaching to always be the gold standard in our evolving landscape. We are Raycom Media. Find your opportunity today.
It's time to take a road trip.
Huntsville is a must-see destination. Is this your stop?
Roger.
Marvel at the U.S. Space and Rocket Center. Wow. Step into the past at Alabama Constitution Village. All aboard! The golf is stellar, and even the food is out of this world in the Rocket City. Alabama has a road trip with your name on it.
Which one you gonna take?
For the last decade, S&S Motorsports of Sarasota has built custom high-performance vehicles for demanding clients worldwide. They're now bringing their 50-plus years of combined build expertise to the parts business. SRQ Performance Parts is your one-stop shop for all your performance parts and accessories.
Attention, Americans eligible for Medicare. Are you getting all the benefits you're entitled to? Did you know there may be money available to lower your medical prescription costs? Call Health Markets and we'll tell you if you qualify.
Hi. I'm Dr. Martin Jeetsi. It's a new Medicare year. That means more changes and more confusion. The key question is, what can you do now to ensure you get the care you need in the coming year?
Call Health Markets today. You may qualify to save money on prescriptions. We'll help you find plans that may cost less, cover more, and could even lower your prescription costs to increase your savings. We help you find all the benefits you're entitled to, and we do it at no cost.
Make sure you have what you need to get the care that's right for you.
Find out if you qualify to receive extra help with your prescriptions. Call the number on the screen now. Representatives are standing by.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining.
Sarasota teenager Jabez Spann has been missing since September. He turned 15 in December. No word on what happened, no arrests. We're going to keep on this story in the news until we find out what happened to Jabez. ABC7's Dwayne Lindo joins us with more. Dwayne.
Well, Alan, to put it in perspective, the family spent Thanksgiving and Christmas without Jabez. The young man is a football star and has plenty of opportunities ahead of him, and no one wants to find out his whereabouts more than his grandmother, aunt, and mother. Jabez Span's 15th birthday on December 15th has come and gone. For family members, the suffering has been beyond comprehension.
I won't wish this feeling on my worst enemy.
The suffer for this is I don't think I really have words for the suffering of this right here.
Jabez's mother, Tawana Span, hasn't seen her son since early September when he went missing from the family's front lawn. She believes Jabez witnessed the killing of Travis Combs and believes someone associated with the murder did something to him. But her focus now is staying vigilant and optimistic.
I don't even draw a hypothesis anymore. I don't even draw a conclusion. All I want right now is for us to have the very first step of just finding him. That's it. And I have high hopes and I have faith that that's going to happen very soon.
But it was just last month Span's mother was involved in an accident. According to the Florida Highway Patrol, no criminal charges have been filed, and Span could not comment due to the ongoing investigation, but says her focus is on her son.
It's made me more determined than anything. It's made me stronger, if anything. I've cried so much that though everything has just been fueled towards finding him.
At this point, the FBI, the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, and the Sarasota Police Department have since increased the reward amount from $25,000 to $50,000 for information about the 5'9", 120-pound missing teenager.
This is a priority case for our detectives at the Sarasota Police Department, and we honestly believe that someone in our community knows something.
Sarasota Police Communications Director Genevieve Judge says they've received several tips and recently made efforts in trying to solve the case.
We did a dog search in the area, continuing to keep this case in the forefront.
Even Jabez's aunt Latoya Jake says they're working with law enforcement, but the family is taking it upon themselves to be proactive.
I try to go on every search as possible. Every family member that want to be involved with going on the searches that can handle going on the searches, because the chances is it's possible that we could find him. It could be one of us, and that's going to hurt even more, you know, if you have to be the one to actually discover him.
Jabez's family going on to say that whatever happened, the person involved with his disappearance is someone he knew well.
If you're doing things like that to children, you don't need to be in this community at all.
They're going to strike again somewhere else, you know, and to watch us suffer, you got to be one pathetic individual. And it takes a certain kind of monster to even harm a child.
Not only calling to the community, but those she thinks who are involved.
We love that little boy, and we love him to death. And every day that we don't find him, we suffer.
Anyone with information on this case is asked to call Sarasota Crime Stoppers at 941-366-TIPS.
Dwayne, thank you. Coming up, the man who has done just about more than anyone in the community to organize searches for Jabez, a private eye, and a former police investigator at the Trapezoid.
Many websites selling medication may look professional and legitimate, but the vast majority of sites selling prescription drugs are doing so illegally. Criminals use websites to sell counterfeit medications that may contain life-threatening toxins. Dot Pharmacy is a website verification program that helps you identify safe and trustworthy online pharmacies. Purchasing medicine online can be safe and easy. Just look for pharmacy to the right of the dot in website addresses.
ABC7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you. Watch ABC7 wherever you are, on our live stream, on mysuncoast.com, on the ABC7 My Suncoast app, powered by the Eye Associates, providing sight for life, featuring traffic maps and live radar, dining with recipes, and My Suncoast Restaurant Guide. Visit mysuncoast.com. Click on the Apps tab to download the ABC7 My Suncoast app for Apple and Android.
What to expect when you're expecting. a teenager.
Today we're talking about how to wake up your teen, and this works literally every time.
Give kisses. Give kisses. You heard how loud
I heard. It wasn't you. Yeah. It was the...
Is that bacon? You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
I'll be right back.
Welcome back. What happened to Jabez Spann, and why has it been so difficult to get answers? He has been missing since Labor Day weekend. It's believed Jabez may have witnessed a murder near his Newtown home, but despite the efforts by some in the community to search, there have been no answers, no signs of him, few leads, and no arrests. Jabez Spann is a child in our community. He is one of our own. This isn't someone else's problem. And joining us for more is Wayne Washington, one of the few in the area who stepped up and organized searches. Private investigator Bill Warner and Bill Kemper, a criminology professor at USF Sarasota Manatee and the former police investigator in the Southfield, Michigan Police. Thank you all for being here today. Wayne, when we last spoke, you were organizing these searches in our area. You were getting people from all over the Tampa Bay area to come down and do it. Where did you leave off there?
Our last search was at the end of November, the beginning of December. Out of respect for the mom, she wanted to kind of regroup and re-strategize and try to find more areas that we could look into. And we were going to go back and start back doing that again, but she just kind of wanted to regroup and re-strategize and go from there.
Bill, is it difficult to look for a missing individual when you don't know what happened to them?
Well, absolutely. Our area is covered with water, wooded areas, empty houses. I mean, it's a nightmare. You got to start somewhere. Wayne was working along most of the railroad tracks, open areas where somebody could, in a car, could dump somebody. I, on my own, have been looking up through the Whitaker Bayou area, which runs from the bridge and MLK Boulevard all the way up to the dog track. Another area that, there's deep ravines where somebody could be, pushed down into there. And this is, of course, before the hurricane came, so you get all kinds of debris to work with. I've looked through all these areas like Wayne has. It's difficult. It's overgrown.
Bill, have you had cases like this where someone has gone missing and really until you nail down who did it and why, you're not going to have much luck in finding that missing individual?
Yeah. First of all, I'd like to have my prayers go out to the family that we do find him. And the problem is, as I see it as a college professor teaching this, we have a time in there of about 4 or 5 days from the alleged when he's seen this. Somebody during that time had to see him. He just not like, it's not like the space thing where Captain Kirk beams him up. He had to be in the community. Somebody out there knows something about this, but we've got to get him to come forward.
Bill, we're going to get into this more, but are, as far as you know, police investigators making progress in at least having suspicion who was behind this and why?
Well, of course they do. They've arrested and interviewed Reginald Parker, who has told multiple people in the Newtown area that he witnessed the murder of Travis Combs, and he saw Jabez Spann also there at the same time. The supposed killers didn't see Reginald Parker, but they did see Jabez. And, and Mr. Parker, who's told other people in the area that he knows who the killers are, won't talk to the Sarasota Police Department. he's stonewalling them.
Now, is that laid out in any kind of court documents or police reports that are public record at this point?
Sure, and there's always a probable cause affidavit when somebody's arrested, and they have to, list what happened, why is he being arrested, what's going on, and yeah, it's there, and he's, there's testimony from the granny, the mother, the aunt that Reginald Parker told them he witnessed the murder, and he knows who did it.
Wayne, I would imagine, we only have a couple seconds left in this segment, but that when all this stuff comes percolating up and you see it in the news and the family sees it in the news, it's awful difficult. You can't imagine what it's like to live with that, knowing that there may be people in the community, your community, that know what's going on, but may not be cooperating with the police.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest things that we do have in our community, the not snitching, and we gotta change that. We gotta figure it out, and we gotta bring unity in the community. Something that I always stress, whether it's the church, the streets, and in between, we gotta come together for the sake of our kids.
We're going to take a quick break. We are just getting warmed up. We'll have more on Jabez Span right after we check the first alert weather, so stay with us.
Florida Studio Theater presents the 8-time Tony Award winner Once, held over by popular demand. Captivating and breathtaking, Once is an unforgettable story about going for your dreams and the power of music to connect us all. Critics are calling Once engaging and heartwarming, outstanding, and a flawless production. Audiences are calling it phenomenal and better than Broadway. Once must close January 19th. Tickets can be purchased by calling 941-366-9000 or by visiting floridastudiotheater.org.
I'm Anne. I'm a scientist.
Recycling takes a team.
Why don't you let me and me help you out?
Everyone plays a part. Don't trash
I love taking stuff apart and building new things out of it.
what could be treasure.
Pal's my most advanced android. This is awesome. You haven't seen anything yet.
Give your cardboard box another life. Recycle.
About every 3 minutes in America, someone is diagnosed with a blood cancer. Light the Night brings together survivors and supporters to bring light to the darkness of cancer and to help fund life-saving research. Our goal is a world without blood cancers, and we're lighting the path to cures. The discoveries made in blood cancer research have led to breakthrough treatments for many cancers and other serious diseases. Help defeat the darkness of cancer. Join Light the Night today.
Every year, 40% of all food in the U.S. never gets eaten.
40%. That's almost half the food we produce.
Food waste is a serious problem. It impacts all of us.
And it's expensive. Your family is throwing $1,500 a year in the trash.
We're working hard to put food waste on the chopping block.
And you can do the same at home.
Learn how to cook it, store it, and share it.
Just don't waste it.
Go to savethefood.com.
Don't allow your weight to threaten your health or control your future. Excess weight or obesity can cause emotional and physical health risks. But you can take control. The Your Weight Matters campaign offers free resources and tips to help you measure and understand your weight. Take the Your Weight Matters Challenge. The free toolkit prepares you to speak with a healthcare provider about your weight. Your weight does matter. Take the challenge and take control today.
Our conversation on Jabez Span continues right after we get a check on the first alert forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. Bob.
Alan, thanks. The weather headlines read like this once again. Another cold front is on the way Wednesday, but near normal weather on Tuesday for one day only. And then a wind chill advisory will be issued for our area once again Wednesday night, Thursday morning. Well, the Van Wezel webcam looking pretty nice this afternoon. A lot of sunshine around, a little bit calmer as far as the winds go. Still a bit breezy, but temperatures did warm into the upper 60s to right around 70 degrees and making for a gorgeous sunset tonight. We'll see similar conditions again tomorrow night for sunset, and sunrise should be clear as well. Well, the subtropical jet stream is ripping across the Florida Straits right now, heading off to the east and into the central Bahamas and along the east coast. A few isolated showers there, but no rain depicted here along the west coast of Florida. High pressure dominating the weather over the southeast with clear skies right now, but this cold front is gathering and a low pressure area will develop along it, which will eventually sweep our way come Wednesday afternoon. But the air out ahead of it is just so dry. This is the water vapor imagery showing that dry scale that you see all throughout the Gulf of Mexico. So no real moisture in place to squeeze out any showers with this next front that's expected to move on through and chill us out once again. Right now, 60 degrees. Dew point is at 48. Winds are out of the northeast at 5. The pressure way up there, 30. And the high today was 69, just a couple degrees shy of the average, which is 71. Our low this morning was very chilly at 44 degrees. And temperatures right now, 60 in Sarasota, 52 in Orlando, 42 in Jacksonville, 49 in Pensacola, and 70 in Miami. Well, the national scene looks like this right now. You can see this area of green starting to show up here, some returns on the radar there. That is the low pressure area that's developing. This is all going to change over to snow and freezing rain overnight and tomorrow morning from Texas to Louisiana and even into Mississippi. They're going to get some snowfall. They could see up to 1 to maybe even 3 inches of snow. It's already falling in parts of northern portions of Arkansas tonight and southeast Missouri. And then a little clipper system moving through the Ohio Valley, bringing some snow to western portions of Pennsylvania. Pittsburgh getting some snow right now and into southern sections of Ohio and into Kentucky and all the way up into western New York. Some lake effect snow is occurring there. Well, here's the forecast then. You'll see this line drop to the southeast and sort of intensify. That's the snow and rain mixed, moving through parts of the lower Mississippi Valley tomorrow. And then it changes over to snow in the panhandle of Florida. That begins on Tuesday at around 10:30. And you can see that snow, not a lot for us here, but there will be some snow showers all the way up through I-75 into Georgia. And then along the Mid-Atlantic coast states, really starts to intensify over the northeast too. Well, as far as the snow goes, the accumulation, we're not expecting any here in Florida. But you see this area in blue right there over Texas and also into Arkansas. That's up to about 3 to 6 inches of snowfall, which stretches into Kentucky and places to the northeast of that. Well, our winds will pick up basically out of the east and northeast. Kind of a breezy day tomorrow, but you'll really see those winds intensify once the front moves through, as I said, right around Wednesday in the early afternoon. For boaters tomorrow, a windy start. We'll have northeast winds at 15 knots and then subsiding to 5 to 10 in the afternoon. Seas running 2 to 3 feet with a moderate chop out there. Here's a look at the forecast as we see it. And then 64 for a high on Wednesday as that front moves through midday. And then a 36-degree reading for a low on Thursday morning with a wind chill right around 30 degrees. And the advisories will come to an end on Friday. And then we'll stay warm through the weekend with highs into the mid-70s both on Saturday and Sunday. Quite a contrast to this past weekend. Al will be back with his guest right after this. Stick around.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
I owed the IRS $20,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours. Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
We saved our home and overcame the most powerful collection agency in the world.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 1-800-565-7740. That's 1-800-565-7740.
The classic film Singing in the Rain is coming to the Players Center in a live stage show opening January 17th. All the dances and all the songs you've come to know and love, all a part of our Wild Broadway series. Get your tickets now for this limited run by calling the Players at 365-2494 or visit us online at theplayers.org. You too can be singing in the rain.
Chris Domine is a husband, father, an athlete, even an Ironman. But 10 years ago, Chris's kidneys were failing.
The doctor said if you don't do dialysis, if you don't get a kidney transplant, you are going to die.
Then Chris received a second chance, made possible by an organ donor.
Your well-being changes from loss of hope to better times ahead.
Imagine what you could make possible. Learn more and sign up as an organ, eye, and tissue donor. Go to organdonor.gov.
Coast Guard, we are taking on water.
The United States Coast Guard. They secure our ports and waterways, protect our environment, keep drugs away from our kids, and save lives. It's dangerous work. And in times of triumph or tragedy, the Coast Guard Foundation answers the call to support Coast Guard members and their families. Learn more at coastguardfoundation.org.
Welcome back. We're talking about missing Sarasota teenager Jabez Spann, and joining us for more is Wade Washington, one of the few in the area to step up and help organize searches. Private investigator Bill Warner and Bill Kemper, a criminology professor at USF Sarasota Manatee and a former police investigator in Southfield, Michigan. Wayne, after the last broadcast we did on this, how would you describe how active the community has been in terms of what you're hearing on the street and people coming out to try to help the search?
After we did the last broadcast, that last search, a lot of folks from out of town came out, but it was kind of the same old spirit, the same, you know, besides, like I said, me or Bill on social media and a couple other sharing the flyers and stuff, it was pretty much the same spirit.
There's a $50,000 reward for information out there. Did that have any impact?
I didn't see nothing change. I didn't, you know, besides the same people that was sharing that flyer and, you know, active on the whole search thing, those were the only ones I ever seen doing anything.
Bill, we talked about when there is fear and concern in a community about the environment and about people's safety, and those are honest feelings, it makes it a whole lot more difficult for investigators to investigate, you know, disappearances and other kinds of crimes like this, right, Bill?
Yeah, what we have is a fear factor there, and talking to Bill here, a fear factor is amongst the people coming forward to the police. My personal opinion, in the 4 days or 5 days there, I kind of think that somebody in the community is going to come forward, possibly for the war, anonymous tip. But in general, you have that fear factor there of
Bill, is this different than, you know, we just had the situation up in Tampa with the serial killing up there, and eventually, you know, a woman collected a great deal of money in terms of reward, but it's a different type of situation, is it not?
Well, sort of. I mean, you do have a murder involved here. You do have a young guy who's missing, taken, whatever you want to call it, and it appears to be connected, and there should be a lot more community effort here. Like Wayne mentioned, I noticed too on Facebook, it died right down to like nothing. There's no mention of Jabez at all.
You know, what's going on here, Wayne? Is it that there is an ingrained feeling amongst a lot of people that they just are not going to cooperate with the police, even though it's one of our children who are missing?
Yeah.
Or is it just, you know, because of year after year, it's so dangerous out there that you're better off not being involved?
Man, like I said, the snitching is one of the biggest things. A lot of the rumors that go out in this in the community, the rumors are the biggest thing, because some of that stuff can be it's not true at all, but people will go and spread all kind of false information, and then that gets caught up into the searches and everything. And so that's what's been, that was one of the biggest things that was hurting the searches in the community. But I think now that time has kind of cleared up and stuff, if we get back out there, you know, I reach out to Tawana and, you know, see how she feels. I think that we can get that momentum back and really get out there and find her son.
Bill, is this a situation, as you said earlier, where police may have an idea of about what happened, but they need a whole lot more to make a criminal case?
Yeah, we've got a lot of he said, she said, hearsay evidence, which is not admissible in court. The police department needs an eyewitness, somebody to say, I know who did it, I know who shot Travis Combs, and willing to testify in court. You got to have this.
And that's sometimes difficult to come by.
That's the problem right now.
Bill, how often does that happen with police departments, that you think that you have an idea of what may have happened, but you're dealing with a community that you're not getting a lot of information out of? How do you go about making a case?
Well, I think the big thing, like Wayne had said, I think it lies in the community itself rather than the police department, where somebody in the community wants to come forward, take a chance, because it's a young man. I think the answer's in the community.
Unfortunately, I would imagine this happens a lot in communities around the country, and Is this an overgeneralization, but can you put a number in terms of how often, what percentage of cases you're able to actually solve eventually? If not now, then, you know, in the months or years ahead?
The big thing is if it's drug related or if there's the fear factor. If there's no fear factor there, the percent is very high, 80% possibly. But you take that 20% with that fear factor here, it's almost unsolvable. The people are not willing to come forward.
Is it unusual to have a case like this where, I mean, you can't say it is a murder. We don't have a, you know, Jabez has not been found. You have a missing person, so you don't know exactly what happened and where they are at.
Well, that's what you have right now, because no one will come forward and say, yes, we know who shot Travis Combs, and yes, we know that Jabez was taken by those people.
Right, and you also obviously don't have any kind of physical evidence or forensic evidence for police to look at.
Well, you have probably have a bullet. He was shot, so they probably have a bullet, so they probably at least know the caliber of the weapon.
From another murder?
No, they had the bullet from Travis.
Right.
Yeah, so they have that at least. So they have something to work with if they can find the weapon.
Right. So, Wayne, you know, we heard from Jabez's mother in Dwayne's story, but how is this family doing right now? I know there is a lot going on, but I would imagine that despite everything that's going on, you still have a pit in your stomach that you know you have a boy here who is missing, and that never goes away.
Oh man, I know the family, you know, mentally is probably just, you know, suffering, and I mean, I pray for them every night. You know, like you said, there's so much going on with this whole case and everything, but you know, I know that they just want to find Jabez. I know that they want to just find Jabez and get this resolved, and you know, it's very agonizing and stressful, not only for the family, but their friends and people that's involved with this situation.
Are you frustrated that you have not gotten more help?
I was real frustrated at first, but then what I did was just, you know, it's sad to say this, but you kind of adapt with the ways of people in the community. So, I mean, it's nothing that you can make anybody that live here do, so you just do what you can. But it was very frustrating because it's like, you know, this person doing this thing, I'm doing my thing. Instead of us all coming together for the common cause to find this little boy, let's put all our petty differences aside. You know, whether you doing this, whether I'm doing this, let's just find this boy for his mom and his family. You know, it just seemed like that was such a difficult thing for us to do.
Bill, does it make it difficult for police when every single day goes by and there are no developments? The farther you get away from the day that he went missing, it's more difficult to then solve?
Yes, what we call, you got to keep the candle lit. First 48 hours, you probably heard, are very critical, the first 48. After that, the candle kind of goes out. The situation here is like what Wayne is doing. You have to keep that candle lit, and like what your TV station here is doing, is igniting that candle. And
Bill, police don't ever give up when there is a missing person or in murder cases in general.
No, of course not. You know, there's no time limit here, you know, to find the people. There's a time limit to find Jabez, but no, it's not going to go away.
But there are, you know, as in anything in life, there new priorities come along, new cases come along. So how do police departments balance a case like this with new cases that come in every single solitary day?
My personal opinion, again, is community. If the community keeps on this, the police will keep on it. Once the community dies down, police die down.
But I really think this is a high priority for the Sarasota Police Department to solve this case. A real high priority.
And you know, I know that the officers are looking on it right now. They've overcome a lot of obstacles, but they're working on it very aggressively.
The best they can, yes. They're not getting a lot of help.
All right, we are going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with final thoughts in a moment.
Fact. The top 3 Marriott hotels in North and South America are on the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, according to a recent survey of 363 Marriott hotels. The Marriott at Grand National, the Marriott Shoals Hotel, and the Grand Hotel. And 2 of the top 3 Renaissance hotels are also on the trail, Ross Bridge in Birmingham and the Battle House in Mobile. Southern hospitality still rules. For reservations or information, visit rtjgolf.com/resorts.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes? B, console her?
Don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
Or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice, single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Okay, so we drowned the fire.
Yep.
Stirred it. Drowned it again. And now just feel if it's cold.
Yeah.
Cool.
Smokey just gave me a bear hug.
I know. I already posted it.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He really likes to be around people. And as soon as I start to make my breakfast, Hamilton is right there. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. I mean, look at this little face. How could you not love him?
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blog, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining.
And our guests join us right now for final thoughts. Wayne, what is the one thing you want this community who is watching right now to know?
The one thing I want this community that's watching, everybody that out there that's in Facebook world, that's watching on channel ABC, this is a new year, y'all. This is a new year. This little boy hasn't been found. Let's dead all the rumors. Let's stop all the false lies and everything. And let's just come together as a community and bring Jabez home. We always got to understand we have children. All of us have kids. I'm a father of a daughter. This could be any of our kids, y'all. So we could just come together as a community, 2018, bring this little boy home, and let's bring some justice for Tawana Spann and her family.
Bill, is it safe to say police know more today than they did back in September?
No, of course they do. And people need to get involved, like Wayne is saying here. It makes me very angry that there's all these roadblocks for the police to not do their work and not be able to do their work. Look, first of all, there's a killer out there. He's still here probably. He's on the streets of Sarasota. You have to do something. You have to speak up or it's not going to get solved.
Bill, you've worked cases like this throughout your entire career. I would imagine for the detectives out there, the investigators, patience must be an incredible virtue to have.
Yeah, yes it is. Patience is incredible. And I think what we have here in closing, I think we have to have a good community-police relationship, which apparently we do. And they have to get over this fear factor, and we have to have somebody, in my opinion, knows something. What happened to this young man, maybe his buddies or something said in the neighborhood, has got to come forward.
All right, gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us tonight. FYI, you can watch past discussions on demand. They're available on Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and Roku. And for the latest on local breaking news, don't forget to download the updated version of our app. If your current app doesn't work, it's expired, just go to the App Store and re-download it by searching for WWSB or My Suncoast. We want to thank our guests for being here tonight. Wayne Washington, one of the few people in the area that step up and organize these searches. Private investigator Bill Warner and Bill Kemper, a criminology professor at USF Sarasota Manatee and a former police investigator in Southfield, Michigan, for joining us tonight. And when we return, we'll have a final look at your first alert weather. Plus, President Trump again speaks out on the accusations against him being a racist. Stay with us.
I heard about the Dotoli Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Dotoli Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was and some additional cancers that were not found during the biopsy. I would recommend the Dotoli Cancer Center. As a group of human beings, they are unbelievably great.
My life motto is keep moving. And as hard as it was when my husband passed away, I knew I had to keep doing what I love. Oops, coming. But I needed help with my insurance, and that's what the NAIC provides. They have resources to help you and your family make the best decision, and they'll help you to keep moving forward, just like me.
All right, crew, let's get started. All right.
Don't ignore the law. You must call 811 at least 2 to 3 days before any digging project so you can avoid hitting our essential buried utilities. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811.
I love taking care of my mom. It wasn't easy at first. She learned how to better communicate her needs.
And you learned how to not ignore yours.
I discovered how to make healthier meals.
And I discovered how much I enjoyed them.
Becoming a caregiver is a learning experience for everyone. Find articles, tips, and tools from experts and others who have been in your place. The Caregiving Resource Center at aarp.org/caregiving.
Your primetime headlines are coming up in just a moment, but right now let's get a final check on the first alert forecast from Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan.
Beautiful sunset tonight, Alan. Here is a look at it over Sarasota Bayfront right there. This is Cristelli, again, Ensley, and it looks like sunrise tomorrow, 721. Should see just pretty much the same conditions, just the opposite side. KCE webcam showing fair skies around, some high-level cirrus clouds streaming overhead. Pretty calm out there on the waters for the most part. We are going to see winds in the morning around 15 knots for boaters, so it'll be a bit rough going, but a beautiful sunset tonight. A very active subtropical jet stream well down to our south, creating a little bit more cloudiness down there. And a developing storm system over the lower Mississippi Valley promises to bring some snow into the deep south. Now, their snowfall totals could be rather high in northern sections of Louisiana and Arkansas. No snow totals for Florida, but high pressure will dominate our weather with fair skies again tomorrow, and we'll get a little bit more of an easterly component, which will bring us warmer temperatures. Highs tomorrow will be pretty close to seasonal averages. Temperature right now is 60 degrees. We have a few clouds around. The dew point's a little higher than it has been lately, and winds are out of the northeast at 5. The high pressure continues to dominate at 30, and 42 degrees now in Jacksonville, 10 degrees warmer in Orlando, 70 into Miami. Well, the hourly forecast for us tomorrow, there it is, finally back to where we belong for this time of year. 70-degree temperatures under plenty of sunshine after a somewhat cooler start. We'll see temperatures, warmer start than we've seen. Temperatures will be close to seasonal averages to start the day off tomorrow. Well, the satellite and radar review over the U.S. is again showing that Arctic air plunge southward is already through Kansas City into Chicago, Minneapolis, and Sioux Falls. Now, as far as we're concerned, here is the snowfall right now that's occurring well to our north. We're not going to get into this real cold air here until mainly Wednesday night, Thursday morning, but for the time being, it is causing all sorts of headaches for travelers through Ohio, western portions of Pennsylvania tonight, and even into western New York where snow is falling at this point. And as I mentioned, the Futurecast is showing rain now, but that changes over to freezing rain and snow as far south as South Texas. That's the possibility of some freezing rain there. And then this is all snow that you see in the blue area, and then as we move through time, you'll start to see some of that change over to snow in the Panhandle and some freezing rain there. For us, we'll see a relatively dry cold front come through. As I mentioned, just after Wednesday afternoon, it pushes to the south. Our winds switch around to a northwesterly direction. And yes, small craft advisories will be back with us, along with that wind chill advisory beginning Wednesday night. Well, the future wind forecast out of the east, a bit brisk to start the morning off, but should subside. Should be a gorgeous afternoon tomorrow. Lots of sunshine, winds out of the northeast at 5 to 10 miles an hour, and temperatures back in the low 70s. And then here comes the front. Here come the winds out of the north. That happens Wednesday afternoon and Wednesday night. And with that wind still blowing at around 10 to 20 miles an hour, that wind chill will be right around upper 20s to low 30s by looks like Thursday morning. Well, here's a look at some temperatures now. 19 in Buffalo. It's 21 in Detroit, but the temperatures really drop into Bismarck and Rapid City now. South Dakota at -1, 14 into Kansas City, and 21 in Oklahoma City. Now Dallas at 43, and pretty chilly in Atlanta too at 43 degrees right now. So for boaters tomorrow, we're looking at some breezier conditions. Now the cold Arctic air is going to make a retreat once we get through it on Wednesday and Thursday. So it looks as though we're going to be seeing some warm temperatures to start the weekend, and then even beyond. Winds out of the northeast tomorrow at 15 knots, subsiding 5 to 10, seas running 2 to 3 feet, and the water temperature now at 60 degrees. UV index tomorrow will be a 7. Tides up coming on your screen, high tide at 10:41 and a low tide at 7:15 tomorrow morning. Well, here's the forecast for the next 7 days. Tomorrow, high of 70, starts to drop in the afternoon, 64 as the front moves through. Wind chills into the mid-20s inland areas, and then we'll see a high of 60 degrees only on Thursday, but there it comes, 70 degrees back with us on Friday, and then mid-70s on Saturday and Sunday, with just a slight chance for a shower or two come Sunday afternoon and Monday. 76 on Monday of next week. Quite a difference from what we saw today. Alan will be back with primetime headlines right after this. Stick around.
Florida Studio Theater presents the 8-time Tony Award winner Once, held over by popular demand. Captivating and breathtaking, Once is an unforgettable story about going for your dreams and the power of music to connect us all. Critics are calling Once engaging and heartwarming, outstanding, and a flawless production. Audiences are calling it phenomenal and better than Broadway. Once must close January 19th. Tickets can be purchased by calling 941-366-9000 or by visiting floridastudiotheater.org.
For more than 100 years, American Humane Association has been teaching kids to be kind to animals. Those in our homes, on the farms, on the silver screen, and wildlife conservation, caring for the world's vanishing creatures. But we can't do it alone. Visit kindness100.org to find ways to teach kids how they can make a more caring, compassionate, and humane world for all of us.
Invest in Kids is a $7.5 million project to build a new Boys and Girls Club in South Manatee County. I'm Caleb Grimes, and I was a club kid. It's where I learned important life lessons, leadership, integrity, responsibility, and baseball. Thousands of kids attend the Boys and Girls Clubs, and after years of use, their club is slowly falling apart. Help us invest in kids. Make your donation today.
It's been about a month, and I can honestly say I've seen the change in me. I went from being a depressed girl who didn't want help to this happy, caring girl who loves helping other people. I just really hope that people that went through what I went through get the help that they need, because their story is important and they are loved. Thank you so much for everything.
Checking primetime headlines, President Trump is pushing back against critics who are calling him racist. This all comes over the backlash against offensive remarks he reportedly made about Haiti and African countries. ABC's Arlette Saenz joins us from Washington.
A clash is erupting over what President Trump did or didn't say. The only Democrat to attend the meeting insists the president used an offensive phrase to describe African countries.
This speaks to America and its view toward immigration. It is a message to the world, and a message which I think is inconsistent with the values of this country. I don't believe the majority of Americans agree with the president.
The president is firing back on Twitter. Senator Dickey Durbin totally misrepresented what was said. 2 Republicans in that meeting initially said they didn't recall the president making vulgar remarks. Now they flat out say it didn't happen.
I'm telling you, he did not use that word, George, and I'm telling you it's a gross misrepresentation.
Also in that meeting, GOP Senator Lindsey Graham, who told a colleague that reports of the president using derogatory expressions were, quote, basically accurate.
What I heard I didn't like. Thursday was a step backwards, and my goal is to get us moving forward.
The purpose of that meeting, discussing ways to protect the so-called Dreamers. Democrats want Dreamer protections to be a part of a package to avoid a government shutdown on Friday. A proposed DACA deal now seems up in the air. The president blames Democrats.
Honestly, I don't think the Democrats want to make a deal. I think they talk about DACA, but they don't want to help the DACA people.
The president is also pushing back on suggestions he's racist.
No, I'm not a racist. I am the least racist person you have ever interviewed.
Lawmakers return to Washington tomorrow, and House Democrats are working on a measure to censure President Trump over his alleged remarks. Arlette Saenz, ABC News, Washington.
Today, the nation honors the late Martin Luther King Jr. The civil rights icon would have been 89 years old today. MLK Day is celebrated on the 3rd Monday in January, and this year it falls on his actual birthday. President Ronald Reagan signed the holiday into law in 1983. The first national MLK holiday was observed 3 years later in 1986. This year marks the 50th anniversary of his assassination. A demonstration by bikers in South Florida has caused havoc this holiday weekend. Riders of motorcycles, dirt bikes, ATVs drove recklessly on public roads as part of the annual Wheels Up, Guns Down event. It is aimed at spreading a message of nonviolence and honoring Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., but their dangerous maneuvers landed several people in the hospital with injuries. Participants were seen popping wheelies, going through red lights, and colliding with other vehicles. Police issued dozens of tickets and made several arrests. The lead singer of the wildly popular 90s Irish band The Cranberries has died. Dolores O'Riordan died suddenly today. No details about the cause of death. O'Riordan was in London for a recording session when she passed away. The Cranberries rose to fame in the 1990s with hits like Linger and Zombie. O'Riordan was 46 years old. And that's all the time we have for this evening. I'm Alan Cohn. Thanks for joining us. Have a good night.